You already know what time it is, man. The young GOAT in the building. Make sure you tune in to True Hill Heat Podcast.
This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to the boys.
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube and Facebook for our NJPW Dominion 2023 preview. We are here to discuss the big show coming up this Sunday, live from Osaka-jo Hall on NJPW World. It is going to be the second biggest event for New Japan Pro Wrestling of the year, Dominion, with a huge card, multiple titles up for grabs. It's a 9-match card, and out of that 9 matches, you have about 8 matches with championship implications. So this is a big one. So you know who's back with us. He didn't join me for the Best of the Super Junior final review, but he was with me for the preview. He's back here for the Dominion preview. It's the MC, the Master of Ceremonies for the past, present, and future of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Mr. J News.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is I am back. My apologies for not being around for the Best of Super Junior finals, but all I have to say about that is they busted my entire bracket. We are taking a step closer to the Grandmaster as we here enjoy on the channel, Master Wato's Growth. And yeah, man, let's talk about this Dominion preview, man, because got some things to say. But we have another colleague with us here today, SP3.
Yes, he's becoming a regular on the channel. If we're talking about Stardom, if we're talking about New Japan, I had him on the flagship podcast to talk about Best of Super Junior. Had him on the flagship podcast to talk about a crazy week in wrestling, and he even showed up on his afternoon jog, his afternoon run during our Best of Super Junior final review. He is from Fightful, from 5-Star Joshi Show. It is Scott E. Wrestling, Scott Edwards, rejoining the crew. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I can't wait to talk about this show. Like when you asked me the other day, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I'm there. This is like one of the most exciting and I feel like I've said this a few times for New Japan this year, but this feels like one of the most exciting shows because there's just so much that goes into the future with this show that I'm really excited. So thank you for inviting me once again. Can't wait to talk with you guys about this one because it is a packed card.
Yes, 9 matches, like I said, 8 with championship implications. That 9th match is an ongoing kind of faction war, so there's a lot to discuss from this show. We appreciate you all. If you're joining us live, if you're watching on demand, we appreciate you as well. Remember, show that appreciation back. Drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. This is a home of New Japan Pro Wrestling coverage. We do previews and reviews for all the major shows and tournaments for NJPW, so you can join us always if you want to talk about some New Japan Pro Wrestling, or if you want to get up to date, up to speed on New Japan Pro Wrestling. The True Hill Heat YouTube channel has you covered. We got Dolores in the chat with us. Like always, sound off in the live chat. Give us your thoughts on the Dominion show coming up this Sunday. Give us your predictions in the live chat as well. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you can send a super chat donation like the good brother Vala B here. Thank you so much, Vala B, who says, I'm polling the odds from our panel. how likely do you think we are going to see the Tsuji shock happen? Bear in mind, Forbidden Door is also coming. I have it starred. We will come back to this question when we get to that main event matchup for sure. Vala B, thank you for the super chat donation. And he says he's polling the chat too, but I don't have poll access. So he wants to do that, but we will get everybody's predictions in the live chat as well. Bunch of highs. We got Dolores, we got the Negro Buck in the live chat. He's also saying for the bested bracket, damn you, Master Wato.
Can't deny the Grandmaster.
Come on, Wato Mania is running wild. We said this after for Wrestle Kingdom, so we shouldn't be that surprised that Wato Mania came back around. J News, you weren't able to join us for the Best of the Super Junior final review, but any thoughts outside of your busted brackets when I beat you when Speedball beat Leo Rush on the block final, because that was the only difference that we had in the A block. We both picked wrong on the second place as well. Now, no one had Teton coming out of the A block. Not. I had Hiromu. I think you had who was your second one besides Leo? I know you had Leo, but who was your other guy?
I had Leo. Shoot, who did I have Leo go up? Desperado, didn't I think?
No. You had. I'm talking about just the A block.
Oh, just A block.
We picked the final four. We picked the final four. I know you had Desperado and you. Yeah, I think that was who you said. You said Ishimori because he's always in that mix. I had Hiromu and Speedball, and you had Ishimori and Leo, and then we both had El Desperado in the B block, and then we had different people for the second place. I think I had Yo, and then you had Robbie.
Yeah, maybe
no Grandmaster love.
No Grandmaster love at all. I just figured that this was going to be a strong tournament for him, not that he would go ahead and win it all.
That's fair.
It's gonna be, steps, baby steps. We've been baby stepping our way with Master Wato for the last 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, he gets this push, and we're here now. He is now a Best of Super Junior winner. He's gonna be talked about in the same breath as guys like Ricochet and Fergal Devitt and Ibushi and Will Ospreay. Master Wato, ladies and gentlemen. Master Wato. Wato. As oh God, I don't even know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. It was surprising. When they got to the finals between Leo and Speedball Mike Bailey, I had a feeling Speedball was gonna win. Because the way things were going for Leo in his last
that had me on the edge of my seat, because realistically either guy could have won that one, because both were kind of like I think Scott said it during our final review. They were kind of like neck and neck as far as tournament MVP, because for a long time Leo was the story. Just his rediscovery of his love for wrestling was one of the stories of the whole entire tournament. And then Speedball was, I said it on the review, I'll say it here, out of the 10 matches he had in the tournament, I think I rated 9 of them 4 stars or more. Like, he was just a consistent banger after banger every single night in this tournament.
He was incredible, bro. He was incredible. I don't get to watch Speedball much because I'm not a fan of Impact and whatnot. But hey, listen, man. The reality of the situation is it's on Access. I don't watch cable television as much. The case is, and on top of everything else, it's still got the TNA stink on it for me. I'm only speaking for myself. Fair. So that goes there. But they had tremendous tournaments. The B block is what really got me, man. I was like, what's going on over here? It's like when it ended up with Wato and Hiromu, I was like, I don't know. It's like for me, it was like the Master Wato shit it struck me. It struck me, man. It struck me. I've been pulling for the kid, and he finally won out, and now he's challenging Hiromu for the belt. And him and Teton in the final, I was like, who had Teton? Who had Teton? No No one
No
had
one.
Teton. No one had
I
Teton.
said no one had this as their final. There might have been people that
No.
said Master Wato was a favorite or Master Wato would make the final four, but I didn't see that many people who had Master Wato in the finals even, and definitely didn't see anyone say Teton because we're not used to the luchadors. Usually are good for like 3 and 6, 4 and 5, and they're always impressive. But I mean, I didn't see Teton coming.
Me neither, man. Me neither. And mind you, it's not that I'm not a fan of Teton. It's just one of those things where I would, as a fan of CMLL, like I'm just a bigger fan of guys like Soberano Jr. And I would like to see him in the best of Super Juniors instead of Teton. But understandable. Teton's part of LIJ, so that is what that is. But to see that final and a banger, a damn near classic,
a match of the year candidate for sure.
I'm like,
Hey, all I have to say is that Dave Meltzer,
Wato.
Dave Meltzer watches my star ratings, and he was like, if I don't give 5 stars to this, he's gonna call me a coward again, and he made the right decision. He gave it 5-star Wato. Wato and Honore have 5-star matches in 2023, Scott. What do you think?
Well, I disagree with one of those, but that's
I do too. I did not rate that match 5 stars, but yeah.
I think it's crazy just kind of what 2023 New Japan has become.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the SmackDown phrase of a long time ago, but the land of opportunity in a lot of ways. It is the place where people are getting new chances and they're using them to their advantage. And we're going to talk about that pretty much up and down the Dominion card. It feels like the whole show is that. But did I think Master Wato was going to have a 5-star match right this year? No, not a shot. But it was, to me, like I said the other day, it was the match of the tournament. It was like you said, a match of the year contender. On our way to the Grandmaster, and I think we just got to accept it now. He's ready. All of a sudden, we're all like, yeah, we're here. We're with him.
So for folks who don't understand, if you never watched many martial arts movies, there's always this big ass line of stairs that people have, these big ass long stone stairs they have to walk up, right? And Wato is right now. He's still at the bottom of that staircase, right? But he's gonna take.
No, he's not. He's almost at the top.
Yes, he is.
He's almost at the top. He's almost at the top. He's not even on his way to the Grandmaster. He's made it to the Grandmaster. It's now, can he become the Grandmaster?
No. See, the only way he becomes the Grandmaster is that he obviously, if he beats Hiromu, right? But he's got to beat Kushida. He's got to beat Kushida somewhere down the line. Right? In like a come on, man. Kushida's back. He's a 6-time champ.
You talking about that guy who went 2-7 in the best of Super Juniors?
I'm talking about the history of it all, brother. I'm talking about the history of it all. He's got to beat Kushida. He's got to beat Hiromu. You know what I'm saying? And he's got to do it. Obviously, Dominion's a big stage, but he's got to have a big ass win at Wrestle Kingdom at some point in order for him to be the Grandmaster. So that's why I'm saying he's still at the bottom of the staircase. He's climbing his way up.
He can be 5-star Wato for now. He can be 5-star Wato for now. No Grandmaster Wato just yet. I hope he changes his name to Grandmaster Wato. I think that'd be
He will. I think eventually he will.
That is the evolution. The evolution. Just add Grand to the beginning of his name. But like I said, some big matches up and down the card, and that includes in the opener of Dominion, the first match that's going to be on the card. We got the finals of the IWGP United States Championship #1 contenders tournament, one of the longest tournament names, as it's going to be Will Ospreay going one-on-one with Lance Archer. Archer defeated Fred Rosser at Collision in Philadelphia to earn his spot here, while Will Ospreay had a great matchup against Hiroshi Tanahashi at Resurgence to earn his spot here. These two men have gone at it before in the New Japan Cup tournament and in the G1, splitting their 2 matches 1-1. This is the tiebreaker right here, and the winner will get a shot at Kenny Omega's IWGP United States Championship coming up, presumably at Forbidden Door. Scott, who you got, Ospreay or Archer?
I have a real soft spot for that 2019 G1 match between these two. That was the match that I was like, this Lance Archer could be a singles guy. I just remember that fondly. Obviously, Will Ospreay is a different man now. You know, back then he was. Excuse my dog barking. I apologize, everyone. Someone's at the door. But when it comes to Ospreay, he was still pretty much in his junior weight back then. Now he's a full-on heavyweight. So I'm really interested to see where this match can go in terms of the competitiveness. I know who's winning this match. I think we all know who's winning this match. Because the big Forbidden Door circle that was on the poster when this was originally announced, I was like, oh, I don't think we're getting Lance Archer versus Kenny Omega. But would be I like Lance Archer, but I do think Will Ospreay wins this, and I'm interested to see how they clash this time around. I don't know if anyone saw the tweet, but the New Japan website posted the meet and greet for Lance Archer and Taichi, but it had the Dominion background. And it looked like what the matchup cards used to look like, and I was like, "What happened to Ospreay?"
I was like, don't scare me. Don't scare me.
I was like, time out. Did he get hurt again? And I missed it because, that anytime you see a different logo or something like that, you just get a little worried because it had the hashtag New Japan Dominion in the corner too. And I was like, why would you post that? But thankfully, all is good. I think this should be a great opener. I'm happy that it's kicking off the show.
Yeah, I think Ospreay's style just works so well with Lance Archer, as we saw. I do also have a soft spot for that G1 matchup in Lance Archer's kind of home state of Texas in Dallas. That was a fantastic matchup that opened up the G1 Climax 29 tournament. And I think they're going to have another great matchup here. I'm also going for Will Ospreay to get the win to set up Ospreay Omega 2. J News, who you got?
I think it's a resounding for Ospreay here. It's just yeah, man. It's a match made, right? We want to see Ospreay versus Omega 2. If that's what they pull off at Forbidden Door at the end of the day. I think that the matchup between Ospreay and Archer is going to be they're going to hit each other really, really hard. That's all I have to say. They're going to hit each other really, really hard. This will be a strong style match that will not be for the squeamish, I think. And they're going to start off hot during Dominion. And we're going to see Lance Archer do some what do they call it? Some flippy shit as well during this match, just for the hell of it or whatever, just because he knows that he can. So we'll see that go down as well. But yeah, Will Ospreay wins the match. It's going to be one of those real barn burner last minute pin situations and stuff like that. It won't be like a drug out thing where Will's hitting the hitting blade and then putting the freaking whatever the finisher is on him and stuff like that. Nah, it's going to be like Lance Archer's got Will by this much, and then Will turns it around and gets the win type deal. That's how I feel about how this match is going to end. But yeah, Will Ospreay, Forbidden Door, Ospreay Omega 2. It should be going down. It should be happening. So that's really where I'm at with that.
And I'm hoping that Will Ospreay finishes him with the hidden blade, or like you said, with the roll up. Because please don't try to do Stormbreaker on him with the bad shoulder, please.
Yeah,
please,
exactly.
Will. I'm begging you. You didn't have to do it on Tanahashi. You pretty much had the win after hidden blade, and you did it anyway. I want to see you wrestle the rest of the year because you started off the year as a Wrestler of the Year candidate, but had to take some time off to recover the shoulder injury. My next question, though, before we move on to the next matchup, we saw on Dynamite this week a backstage segment with the Elite, with the Young Bucks and Hangman Adam Page, where Alex Marvez asked Hangman Adam Page about the rumor that was going around. The word going around was that Kenny Omega was hurt and he had left the country to go back to Canada, and Hangman responded with, yes, Kenny is hurt, yes, he has left the country, but he didn't go back to Canada. Do you think we see Kenny Omega show up on this show to confront the winner of this matchup? Scott?
Yes. I think that would be the best case scenario, because then you could kind of work that he was backstage, I don't know, talking to who knows who, but I think that would be ideal. And it'd be nice for him to step back in a New Japan ring ever. He hasn't done it since the New Year's show. So I think it would be nice to have him and Ospreay go face to face, set that up, and start cooking cooking it up, because that's the one bad thing I'll say about Kenny's year so far, is that he hasn't been back to Japan since he won the belt, pretty much.
Yeah, I think that's literally the only setback, because he's delivered 5-star matches every time he had a singles match, and he's been a part of one of the best feuds of the year with the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite. J News, what about you? Do you think we see Omega at Dominion?
Yeah, it seems likely. I think that AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling starting out the Forbidden Door feelers this week is not a breath of fresh air, because they started early, but it wasn't necessarily as important last year. I feel like now we're getting like good important matches to begin, and then they'll be able to spin these webs of storytelling and stuff like that. So with Kenny going into Japan, confronting Will, that I think makes it an even bigger deal for that particular matchup. Then depending as to whoever it is comes out the winner in the main event, we might have some more people visiting Japan come Dominion.
I think it's also worth noting the Blackpool Combat Club is on this show, and I feel like Kenny might care about that. And they're facing Okada, which they've hinted at. He hinted at what, 2 people to help him, and I think everyone pointed to Ibushi, obviously, but also Okada as a potential name. So I guess we'll wait and see. But I wouldn't be shocked if maybe he shows up then too.
Yeah, I could see him getting involved in either one of the post match of this show. I just think it's more important that he confronts Will Ospreay to set in motion the build to Forbidden Door than keep going the BCC Elite thing, which is more of an AEW story more than it is about New Japan. At least him and Ospreay is a story that is purely based in New Japan, really.
Yeah, it would be the Okada aspect, I think, even more if that were to be the case, like the idea of them teaming. But yeah, I think have him show up after Ospreay wins.
Next, we got the second match on the card. It's the ongoing faction warfare that's been heating up in New Japan Pro Wrestling as representatives of Just 5 Guys, Taichi, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Doki, and Taka Michinoku will versus Los Ingobernables, De Japons, Tetsuya Naito, Shingo Takagi, Titan, and Bushi. This feud has been pretty much going on since SANADA left LIJ and joined Just 5 Guys, and it somewhat will continue in the main event. But what do you got in this 8-man tag right here, J News?
Being that Just 5 Guys has gotten one up on LIJ the last few times out, I say Los Ingobernables de Japón will win this match, just so they can trade some wins and losses and things of that nature. So yeah, I give it to LIJ.
I see Taka Michinoku on a team, and I'm pretty sure that he's going to take the L. So I'm going with Los Ingobernables de Japón. Who you got, Scott?
You took my joke. I was going to say, Taka's wrestling. That means the other team's winning. Yeah, I think give Titan the win. After the Best of Super Juniors showing, I'd say give him the win. Why not?
That's fair. We got in the chat here. I'm sorry, but I like LIJ and Just 5 Guys to move on for now. No, let it keep going. It's just brewing. Valabi saying Naito pins Doki again. And we got plenty of people still going for LIJ in this one. Negro Bug and Chase also going for LIJ. So it seems unanimous on that board. Next we got the third match on the card, and this is going to be the first title match on this card officially for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. We have the Intergalactic Jet Setters, Kushida and the Jet, Kevin Knight, defending against the former champions Catch 2, TJP, and Francisco Akira. In the Best of Super Juniors tournament, TJP picked up a one-on-one victory over Kushida, while Akira defeated Kevin Knight to set in motion this matchup, this rematch from Satsumo Nukuni, where the Intergalactic Jet Setters defeated Catch 2. Who do you think walks out with the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Gold, Scott?
So I was thinking this is pretty 50-50 to me. But these titles are about to be pretty useless for the next couple months. And I say that because of the G1. So all the juniors are about to disappear. I know Akira is taking dates in the U.S. for the first time. And Kushida and Kevin Knight, will go back to the dojo. And TJP will go do whatever he does. I'm going to say, and still, I want more out of Kushida and Kevin Knight. I feel like we're just getting something going with them. You could kind of play off the Kushida woes, and maybe he turns that into win because of Kevin Knight, kind of boost up Kevin Knight and what he's doing for Kushida right now. With Independence Day coming, maybe you can defend them on that show as well. But I would have them keep it, especially going to that show, because I think Kevin Knight's going to be a big part of that, or should be a big part of that, since it's a strong brand. And having them defend the titles against maybe a U.S. duo would be pretty cool. So that's what I think. I'm going to go and still. I think it's too early to give them right back.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with Scott here. I'm going to say, and still junior heavyweight tag team champions, the intergalactic jet setters. And plus, there was a lot of other matchups for them kind of set up through the best of the super juniors, with Robbie Eagles picking up a victory over Kevin Knight and kind of signaling for the titles. And the fact that he's been teaming with Fujita a lot, that's a great way to kind of take Fujita to the next spot. Also, Leo Rush and Yo picked up individual victories over the intergalactic jet setters as well. So they have plenty of other matchups that they're going to do. And I'd rather see them kind of flourish with these titles in the same fashion that Catch 2 did. J News, who you got?
I think you guys convinced me, because my initial thought process was that Catch 2 was going to regain these championships, to be quite honest, with the way that Kevin Knight and Kushida were booked in the best of Super Juniors. That's really more or less my reasoning. But with what you both said right now, from a match variety and newness standpoint, right, and being like Scott said, the new land of opportunity that is New Japan Pro Wrestling, I feel like if these two gentlemen, being Kevin Knight and Kushida, regain or retain in this state, it gives chance for new matchups and new feuds to start up. And like you were saying, SP3, with that Independence Day show coming up and stuff like that, it just makes more sense to have their US based talent be promoted on that show in that regard. Not taking anything away from TJP and Akira, but they were long-standing champs. They had tremendous matches and things of that nature. But let's see what's the team name that they go by? Kushida and Kevin Knight. The Jet Setters. We'll see what the Jet Setters can do, and see what this match brings up. Hopefully they work it a little bit differently, and obviously the result's going to be the same, but we'll see as to what type of a different match they can put together this time around.
Yeah, and just the junior heavyweight tag team division feels like the best it's been since the Young Bucks moved up to the heavyweight division, where there's multiple teams that are kind of in that mix that can potentially become the new champion. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, and like Negro Buck says here in the chat, he says, think this could go either way. It really could, because Akira, out of all four of these guys, had the best match of the tournament against El Desperado, and you never know with Gato, he might want to reward that and give them back the junior heavyweight tag team titles. We got a super chat donation here from the Negro Buck. Thank you so much for that. He says, is the G1 doing the 4-block format again? I don't know, but this show will feature, and got the graphic here because that was a part of the preview. It will feature the lineups for the G1 Climax 33. So thank you, Negro Buck, for the natural segue there. But yes, what do you guys think? We're going to get the lineup for this year's G1 Climax. We know we're going to get the Okadas of the world, the Sanadas, the Shingos, the Naitos, the Tai Chis, maybe even, of course, Zack Sabre Jr., he's going to be a part of it, Jeff Cobb, Will Ospreay. Who do you think is going to be maybe like a new person, a first timer, or someone from a different company, say a CMLL or AEW, that is going to be in this year's G1? We'll start with you, J News.
To answer the Negro Bucks actual question, will they go back to the 4-block format? I hope they do. Because it allows for more talent to come through the doors. Secondarily, who do I think will appear in the G1? Like we said, we have our foundational guys that are going to be there. We're going to see another Naito, another Okada, another Ospreay. We'll probably see Lance Archer come into the G1 again. Being that Claudio's testing the waters on Sunday, we might see Mr. Castagnoli in the G1. I hope that we do.
I don't think so. With AEW and Collision, yeah, I don't think so.
It's a hope. I'm not saying that it will. It's a hope. But I don't know, man. We'll see people we haven't seen in there before. If they keep the 4-block format, we'll see people there that we haven't seen before. Probably some Impact talent as well that I'm not thinking of right now. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, it would be cool for all the freaking all the dream matches to go down, but I'm not too sure how that's going to play out. No Bryan Danielsons of the world, and you just poo-pooed on Claudio for me, so I don't know if that'll happen.
We do got some good shouts in here with Nego Buck saying, I just want to see Eddie Kingston in the G1. Yeah, I think if you're talking about a new person from AEW, he would be the best one because he's not going to be used on the AEW roster. He's mainly been ROH. So if he's healthy and back from this hernia surgery, which he should because he's going to be on that Independence Day show, I think he's the best option from someone new from AEW to be on the show. And Bala B echoing the same thing. What about you, Scott? Who do you think will be like a first timer in this year's G1?
They're all beating me to the jump. I had the big Eddie Kingston pitch over here, and they all beat me. Because I think if he were to win that strong open weight title, that would be his pathway.
To the
G1, which I think he's going to do. I don't think you set that match up, especially after he's the guy that beat Jay White out of New Japan as well. I don't forget those things. I don't think Gato does either. I think Eddie Kingston, we have to, Shota Umino is going to be in this year. Yota Tsuji, Ren Narita. So that's three big guys taking up big spots instantly, or three new guys, I should say. Tony Khan signing away Aussie Open really ruined my hopes and dreams there. I was really hoping for Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis in this. I also thought Hikuleo once upon a time was going to be in this, but after the way he lost that never open weight, I said, never mind. I think if you were to look at like all their relationships, you're not going to get someone huge from AEW. Claudio would be like maybe the biggest type guy.
Yeah, he would be the biggest get.
Because you're not going to get Moxley, even if he desperately wants to do one. I'm sure he wants to do it again, but but Tony Khan's like, no, we can't lose you.
He was like, do you not remember what happened last time? I had to push back you and Omega at All Out.
I know. To think of the 4 blocks. So I remember Chris Sampson talking about this on Twitter, how the dates match up more with the 2 blocks again. Yeah. That's not to say that it's for sure, but the dates at least matched up for that. I think Shooter will obviously be in it, so I agree with you. I'm a big Shota Umino guy. I want everything for this guy, and I'll get to it with the 6-man. But I'm trying to think of Impact people. I watch enough Impact to think someone would jump out to me, but Josh Alexander got hurt, so there's no longer someone that I think makes sense unless they put like a Moose in. But again,
that would actually be probably the most interesting person to put into that mix. I wouldn't mind.
4 years.
I wouldn't mind. Moose has been having better matches in that 4 year span.
Here's my main take. I think Ishii's out. There you go. That's my
main one.
Yeah. I think he's out. Yeah.
I mean, he did not have the best tournament last year. It looked like he was kind of winding down. Not as far as match wise. Match wise, he's always going to deliver. But as far as his record in last year's G1 wasn't great. But come on, we can't have a G. Man, if there's anybody who's made for the G1, it's Ishii. Come on.
There's a lot of people from last year out. If you like, just think about it. Like
Chase Owens needs to be out.
White.
Yujiro needs to be out.
Not even taking consideration Chase Owens. I'm not gonna act like he's here. If he's in this G1, I'm gonna be very upset.
But yeah, if they're doing the 4 block, which is they had 7 for each block, that's 28 guys. But like you said, I think they are gonna go back to the 2 block. I would expand the 2 block if you're doing it again and do not just 20 guys. I would do something like 24, and then you have the three new guys, the 3 former Young Lions in Tsuji, Narita, and Shooter in there, and then you can have someone like Eddie Kingston in there. Good shout here with El Phantasmo, who debuted last year. Right. He's gonna be back into the mix, and please don't put in Evil. I don't need any House of Torture nonsense. I know I'm gonna get Evil. That's why I'm making a plea now. No Evil. I don't even need Kenta. I don't even need Kenta in here.
Oh yeah, no, we don't need Kenta. I actually want Kenta less than I want Evil. So, because Evil, like, at least I know the bullshit's coming. Like with Kenta, it's like, man, you used to be so great. What happened? And like he'll show up in Noah once a year now, and he'll like start kicking the bejesus out of someone. I'm like, what? Why? Why don't you do this in the company you work for?
Do it over here.
Don't get me started on Kenta. Ugh.
Good shout by Vala V, but I don't know. I think the N1 is around the same time as the G1, so he says Kaito Kiyomiya. I don't know if they'll do that with Noah.
Look. We have another collaboration show coming soon. But to see a Noah act in the G1, I don't know if that's gonna go down that way. Obviously it would be amazing, right? It would be truly amazing to have Kaito in the G1, probably in opposing blocks to Okada. And if you want to do the same block, fine well too. But you have a built.
Put them in the same block. No, we need that matchup. Put them in the same damn block.
But
we need the announcement made.
They have some good talent that they can draw from as well. If you need a representative of AEW, I just thought about this right now. There you go, Takeshita. Takeshita. There you go. I was about to say Takeshita.
If you want, I don't say that. I think he's a mainline guy now for AEW. Now aligned with Don Callis.
Quick sidebar. Right? Is he BCC or is he just?
He's with Callis.
He's just with Callis. Okay.
Callis cut the promo that he's making his new family to take out the Elite.
I got your AEW entry. We get Big Bill in here. All right.
There you go, baby. There you go.
He would be a revelation in New Japan, yo.
Big Bill, baby. Here we go.
I love how everybody's jumping on the Big Bill bandwagon. The Triple B. The real Triple B. The Big Bill bandwagon.
I was never a big Impact guy, but when he came back as W. Morrissey, I thought he was great there. And now Big Bill's the man. How can you not love you some Big Bill?
Come on, be a Big Bill. I agree, Big Man Dogs. Big Man Dogs calling it saying Big Bill would unironically be over in Japan.
He's everything they wanted Hikuleo to be and more.
Yes.
And then another good shot by Negro Buck. Takeshita is a DDT guy.
Not anymore. He's an AEW guy through and through right now.
He still does major shows for DDT.
Oh, does he?
So if he's gonna be in Japan, it's gonna be the DDT more than New Japan. But we got Frantic World who says yes, Big Bill would be great. I love how everybody yes, the Big Bill agenda, the PBA. We're all in on Big Bill. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Big Bill in the big boys block. They need to do 3 blocks. There's nothing but big guys. And
They did that
all the
last
other
year,
two-
and they
They
put
did that last
poor
year. They did
Okada
that.
with them.
I know exactly. They put Okada in there. No, I want all
Big
beefy
Bill's
men.
this year's Jonah. Here we go.
I need it in my life. Speaking of the big boys block, someone who was in the big boys block last year and in the G1, you got Jeff Cobb getting another opportunity against Zack Sabre Jr. for the NJPW World Television Championship. These two guys went to a 15-minute time limit at Wrestling Dontaku, which led us to this rematch here. By the time that we get to Sunday, this will officially be Zack Sabre Jr.'s 10th defense of the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Championship. Does it all end here, or will my favorite reign and favorite title in professional wrestling continue with ZSJ on top? Scott, who do you got? ZSJ or Cobb?
It'd be a crime to end Zack Sabre Jr.'s run now.
It would.
And based off the story with Samoa Joe and Ring of Honor, it feels like it can't be happening before that, right? Feels like we got a book to that, probably Forbidden Door. I don't know where else you would put
More
that
than
match.
likely.
So I think ZSJ wins here in what should be a great 15-minute match.
I think we're going 14-30. We're going 14-30, and ZSJ picks up the win in the end.
Time, give me 10 minutes. Don't go to the buzzer.
Just once. We need one of those matches to go.
Give me
that
all
way.
bombs.
But yes, I'm really enjoying the story being told on ROH with the Island Boys, with Joseph of the Samoas and Zach of the Sheppies. That promo was gold. That was the best part of ROH TV yesterday. Is ZSJ naming them the Island Boys. Great stuff. That's what I need in my life. Zack Sabre Jr., the best promo in the business. You heard it here first. J News, who you got? ZSJ or Cobb?
Oh man. Listen, I'm with Scott. Can we just get a 10-minute match somewhere down the road for this TV belt? But yes, ZSJ for the win. Samoa Joe, ZSJ, Forbidden Door for all the marbles, to be the TV champion of the entire galaxy. We'll see who wins there. ZSJ on ROH TV is fucking gold, man. He is gold. There's just no way around it. I think, look, man, for lack of just to mention it here real quick, I think what they've been able to do with ROH the last month or so has been really, really good for everyone involved. From a storytelling perspective, from a wrestling perspective, I think they're really doing really good stuff with ROH, and it's really cementing itself as a separate brand outside of AEW, which is what the WWE got away with what they got away from with NXT. I feel like it should be separate. It shouldn't necessarily blend in with everything else or whatever the case is. So good props to everybody doing the ROH stuff. As a ZSJ's gold. Did they air the Shibata versus Coughlin match?
Yeah, that was on last night's show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
that was good.
How'd it go?
That was good stuff.
It was good?
That was a good match. Yeah. We got
BBA
for life. BBA for life. We're a part of the BBA, y'all. Go ahead,
I
Scott.
will say about Ring of Honor, I think it's helped the Forbidden Door build because it's allowed some things to start early, right? And it gives the idea that it plays to what Tony was saying, how New Japan would be involved. Well, they're on there every single week with Shibata and Zach and Kyle Fletcher, and I think that has me more excited about Forbidden Door this year outside of it's New Japan AEW. Like, this is actual build to go along with it, and I think that's really benefited. I would like to see Joe and Sabre Jr.'s, like, all of their stuff to eventually make it on to television, because Zach's wrestling tonight on Rampage.
Yeah, I think got Lee Moriarty tonight. Yeah.
No, he's wrestling Action Andretti. It's
right?
Shibata versus.
Shibata versus.
Oh, my bad. Okay, here we go.
Too much New Japan going on. There's 3 New Japan like things going on tonight on Rampage with Willow too. So
yeah.
Yes. We got a bunch of people still on the Big Bill bandwagon, the Triple B. We got Kaden saying Big Bill Legion BBL. We also got Chris, happy birthday. Chris and AJ Styles, former IWGP Heavyweight Champion. And
still
Chris, you're
AJ
a champion.
Styles. Sorry.
In our heart. Huh?
Nothing. Nothing. I just said AJ Styles still washed.
Damn, come on. He had a great match with Seth Rollins. Great match.
Yeah, well, a
that
lot
knew
of people
the
do
winner
these
of.
days.
This is also true. Also true.
Wow. Wow.
Negro Buck says, let's go. ZSJ. We got Chase who says Sabre Jr. will win this one. We also got Caden saying, I think it's time for ZSJ to lose, unfortunately. I was almost there, and I was with you at before this whole story with Joe started. Before the story with Joe started, then you were probably right, but now they got to do ZSJ and Joe at Forbidden Door.
The night that ZSJ called Samoa Joe Samoan Joseph, it was on. It was on. It was on. That was it.
Samoan Joseph, just the way he says it. Samoan Joseph. And we got Caden. Thank you so much with a super chat donation. He said, just in case I didn't highlight the other comment, BBL, Big Bill Legion. Yes, the Legion of Big Bill.
Yeah.
And Big Man Dog saying, I think they might put a lot of Forbidden Door build on Rampage. I mean, they'll make Rampage watchable. That's all I need. That's all I need. Thank you. I appreciate it. Next, we got another championship matchup. This is going to be the three-way for the IWGP and New Japan Strong Tag Team Championships. It's going to be Bishamon, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi versus House of Tortures, Evil, and Yujiro Takahashi versus United Empires, Great Okan, and Aaron Hanare. Of course, the former IWGP and New Japan Strong Tag Team Champions were Aussie Open before Mark Davis suffered the unfortunate injury that kept him out of action. And now we got this three-way matchup coming up this Sunday. Who walks out with all the tag team gold in New Japan? We'll start with Scott.
House of Torture.
Oh God! I was wondering what was taking. I was like, he was waiting for the stab us in the heart.
Okay, so I have this mapped out in my head. I think whoever wins these belts does the same thing we did last year with FTR, because that's how you get them back to Aussie Open. I think that's the pathway. I think none of these teams, they actually want to have the titles. Like, truthfully, they're like, I mean, whatever. This is not who we picked. And with House of Torture, to me, there's this beautiful idea of putting them on Forbidden Door and having them booed out of the building, because that's the point of them at the end of the day. I understand how painful their matches are. I don't watch them specifically for a reason. I don't think I watched a single show match this time around. Actually, no, I watched the Hiromu one where he came out of the toilet or whatever.
I will say they did different ways for the shenanigans. I'll give them credit for that.
And to me, I think the fun of it is have them go against FTR. That's going to upset a lot of people. It's going to upset a lot. See, there it is. But I don't know why. I just feel like have them win. You got to have one stinky match on Forbidden Door. Bishamon would be like the clean, obvious pick, but I'm not here to give clean, obvious picks. If this happens, if House of Torture wins, then they do the title versus title thing at Forbidden Door just to get them on to Aussie Open. You're welcome, everybody. Or I'm sorry, whichever way you feel. But I think we're gonna have House of Torture reign supreme because of how over they are in Japan. They're over in Japan. Like, we can hate them all we want, but they're selling out t-shirts. They're booed out of the building. It's just the truth.
I will say the House of Torture shenanigans, it comes off better with fans booing it. I will say that. I said that the first show had the vocal crowds. It's not actual House of Torture as it was during the pandemic.
Remember that Mark Davis win. Remember that Mark Davis win.
Hey, that Mark Davis evil match, the best evil matchup in a long, long time. J News, who you got in this three-way?
You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It just so the safe pick, as Scott was saying, the safe pick is Bishamon, right? That is the safe. That's the safe pick. I refuse. I adamantly, vehemently refuse to choose the House of Torture. This is not going down this way. They will not be winning this match. I refuse to ever choose them for anything. But I'll say this. The United Empire guys, now that Aussie Open is officially with AEW, the United Empire on New Japan proper, they need a new tag team, right? And being that Jeff Cobb and Okan aren't together anymore, it's got to be Okan and Gentrified Hanari over here. So I would say that I'm gonna go with the sleeper pick. I'm going with the United Empire boys to win these championships, just for the sake of going into Forbidden Door, giving FTR something different to do, a different matchup. It's going to be a great match regardless, because FTR just doesn't give us bad matches. And at the end of the day, we have 5-star Hanare on one side of the block, and the great Okan and the great Okan always doing great Okan things. Because once great Okan comes to America, we will see one of the greatest Instagram feeds known to man, because he's going to be out here
to Toronto. His first time in Toronto too.
That's right. They're in Toronto.
So he's going to be on his Hotline Bling.
Exactly,
bling.
Man. He's going to be pimping. He's been pimping. He's going to be doing it big in Toronto. So I'm going to give it to Okan. I'm going to give it to Hanare. United Empire. They win the belts to go on to Forbidden Door, dropping the FTR with the multi-title reigns yet again, until we get to Aussie Open properly.
Hey, y'all are going out on a limb with these picks. I'm gonna pick what Scott called the easy pick here, because it's the one that makes the most storyline sense for the titles, and it makes the most storyline sense for Forbidden Door. Bishamon defeated FTR at here Wrestle Kingdom. They already have a built-in reason to go after the AEW World Tag Team titles. FTR can want their titles back, the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Bishamon wins, and it sets up the rematch with FTR. Make it simple.
When I'm right,
I all praise to you for being right, and all torture for all of us. Next we got for the Never Openweight Championship is going to be David Finlay defending against El Phantasmo. This is a feud that's been going on ever since David Finlay joined the Bullet Club at the beginning of the New Japan Cup. It was El Phantasmo that was against this entire idea, because David Finlay attacked Jay White, and El Phantasmo felt that the Bullet Club made an agreement to let White go off into the sunset and leave Bullet Club without an attack or anything like that. But David Finlay, on the behest of Bloody Hands Gato, made the decision to do what he did and take over leadership of the Bullet Club, despite ELP feeling that they needed to promote from within. This led to dissension and led to an eventual blow up between the two at Sakura Genesis, where Bullet Club aligned with David Finlay and attacked ELP. ELP came back for vengeance at Wrestling Dontaku after Finlay defeated Tama Tonga to become the Never Openweight champion, and now we finally got this one-on-one matchup. Been brewing for a few months now. Who you got here, Jay Nudes, ELP or Finlay?
We all know I have a hate relationship with David Finlay.
You do.
Ain't got no love for David Finlay. He is as savage as a rose in a garden. So all I have to say is that I hope that ELP wins this match. That is my hope. But because they are pushing this new savage narrative in New Japan Pro Wrestling with the Bullet Club, being David Finlay, I believe Clark Connors is the other savage as of right now. Who is the third savage? Do we have a third savage as of yet?
Clark Connors and I guess Kenta? I don't know. Well, he hasn't recruited anyone else new.
So I think someone else said it here in the chat. Dunstan, I think he said Finlay will win, but with a new member. So I think there's going to be a third new savage introduced in this at Dominion. And for me, for my money, my hope, my my dream is that we see the new Third Savage, and then we see the reunification of Bullet Club Gold at Dominion. That's right. I'm calling for Juice. I'm calling for the Bang Bang Gang to come to Dominion and save ELP.
Bang, bang, gang. Bang, bang, gang. Bang, bang, gang.
Join the Bang Bang Gang and have that be a 6-man match at Forbidden Door. That's what I'm looking at there. So yeah, that's the way I see it going down. Well, but I believe more than likely Finley will retain his championship, even though I want ELP to win.
Big Man Dawes, ELP has already been kicked out of the Bullet Club, and I don't see him joining Bang Bang Gang because he's very popular. He's very popular as a babyface in New Japan, so I think they're going to stay the course in that regard. But, Scott, who do you got in ELP versus Finley for the Never Openweight Championship?
Well, let me tell you, David Finley wishes he could carry the luggage of the Bang Bang Gang, let alone be as popular as them. I sing the praise of the Bang Bang Gang every single week because the Bang Bang Gang's where it's at. I don't know what what the hell are they called? Bullet Club Gold. I don't give a shit what that is. I'm all about the Bang Bang Gang. They should have Bang Bang Gang shirts. They should just be singing. Juice coming out here with quarters, punching FTR in the mouth. They're my guys. They're my guys. David Finley, yeah. So, fun fact about El Phantasmo. I could not stand this guy when he was a junior heavyweight. Did not like him. Was not a fan. When he switched to heavyweight, I was like, okay, I like your style more as a heavyweight. And now that he's a babyface, I think he's getting there. I think he's getting there for me to be like, okay, I get it now. Finally. Because to me, his best matches were always like when he showed a little babyface side to him. And I think this match can be pretty good. I think that I'm with Jay News and the David Finley winning with that third member helping out, whoever it may be, makes a lot of sense. So I'm gonna side with that, with David Finley win. But I think El Phantasmo getting screwed, more importantly, is the right choice, especially where he is at the babyface.
I would say him getting screwed, new third member, not Bullet Club Gold, but as Scott said, the Bang Bang Gang will be coming through for the save. I'd like to say that I envision it somewhere down the road on AEW television. There will be some sort of a freaking vignette that has Juice Robinson going into a laundromat, buying himself a whole stack of roller quarters. He appears in the ring. He's knocking people out with quarters, baby. That's that. I see it. I see the vision.
I need him. I need Juice. Ricky! Going to the laundry.
Next, he can do Finley. It's perfect.
I need it. I'm gonna agree with you guys. I think Finley retained. I do like the idea of a new member of the Bullet Club. I think it might be Gabe Kidd coming back to
that's
Japan
what
proper.
Yeah.
I can see him being the third member to help out David Finley here. Now we got the match that I'm probably looking forward to the most on this entire card. For the never open weight 6-man tag team championships, you have Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroshi Tanahashi teaming up to face 2/3 of the Blackpool Combat Club, Jon Moxley, and the debuting in New Japan for the first time, Claudio Castagnoli, the Ring of Honor World Champion, and teaming with Moxley's former young boy, Shota Umino, the Shooter. This one has so much story going on here. It's been Shooter, been the latest example of Okada versus the Unruly Children. Okada being the former fraternity president who now lives next door to the fraternity, and it's telling all these kids to pull up their pants and stay the fuck off his lawn. And he does not like Shota Umino, and Umino is trying to prove himself to Okada. All the while, it seems that Moxley is back in New Japan Japan to put some respect on his former Young Boy's name and not take the crap from Okada here. You have Moxley's history with Tanahashi, their matchup at Forbidden Door last year, where Moxley became the interim AEW World Champion. Moxley also has history with Tomohiro Ishii, their 5-star classic from the G1 Climax 29 tournament. And you have Shooter, who's been basically playing a cosplay Tanahashi with Moxley's jacket at the same time. And then you got Claudio. You got Claudio here, who's going to be mixing it up with Okada, Ishii, and Tanahashi for the first time. This might be the biggest and best 6-man championship matchup in New Japan Pro Wrestling history. Scott, who do you got, the BCC side or Team Okada?
I'm gonna avoid the sass that you just gave my guy Shooter with the
cosplay. This Shota Umino slander is unnecessary.
Yeah. I don't like the disrespect for the future ace of this company.
I am Team Okada all the way. That's what I'm going for. I'm giving my prediction anyway because you wanted to badmouth my slander is because I am Team Okada. Stay the hell off his lawn.
Stay the hell off his lawn. Shooter's name.
All these kids need to get some respect for Okada. He's an old man. He's 35, 36 years old. Get off his lawn.
So I will say the smartest thing maybe Gato has done this year is look at the Okada, Kaito, Kiyomiya story and be like, I can just bring that to my company with my young guy, and it can be better because I can have a sooner payoff than that one. I was like, you brilliant bastard, Gato. This story is great because you have a guy trying to prove himself, and a lot of people say the stuff about cosplaying and whatnot. He's got a little Tanahashi to him, a little Naito to him. He's got the Moxley stuff going on. He's gonna have to shed it all eventually and be Shooter Umino. And I think those matches with Zack Sabre Jr., you really saw who he is as a main event caliber talent for sure. But that being said, he's got to get it off eventually. And I have decided that this is the match we get rid of the stupid jacket because I think Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli aren't going to be too happy when they lose this match. I think that's how we get Jon Moxley turning on Shota Umino. And that's where we get rid of the jacket, which is my one critique about Shota. I want the jacket gone and his own finisher. I'd like him to have his own finisher, but that's just a wrestling thing overall. Because I think he is the ace. I think he is the guy for this company moving forward down the line. I know that's saying a lot because we have another guy in the main event that hasn't even debuted yet and might be walking out of the show as the world champion, but he's a different case. I think Shooter can be and will be their ace. And I think this is the start of making him his own guy. While he's so focused on Okada, maybe that's what cost them, and maybe that's what might piss off Jon Moxley. I want Moxley versus Shooter. I want Shooter versus Okada. I want a whole lot of things, and I feel like this could be the way we get there with the Okada's team winning.
Who you got, J News, and what have you thought about the build-up with the latest chapter in, as Dustin put it, Okada versus the Young Boys?
I mean, it's really been just Okada versus the Shooter so far.
This started with Kaito, then it went to Red Narita, and now it's Shooter.
Hold on. They barely did anything with Red Narita. They barely scratched the surface there.
No, they didn't. That's how he won the never overweight title.
Ren Narita got bullied. He looked like a chump.
Yeah, man. He looked like a chump, dog. He wasn't even put over. The point is to put these guys over. You got to put them over. No. They barely scratched the surface with Red Narita as of yet. With Shooter, they're really taking their time. They're crafting the story. They're really making look. Exactly. What you got to do with your meats is what you do with this, man. You got to marinate. You got to marinate. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it is. I would say, from a wrestling perspective, obviously, I think that the Chaos faction they retain here. Scott. I feel like this might be the event to do it, where Shooter will take the pin, right, and probably Okada pins him Rainmaker style, but like brutally, right, and Mox is in a craze, is in a frenzy, and he goes all BCC on Shooter. Shooter will get left in the middle of the ring in a pile of his own blood. That's what goes down That's what happens.
That's beautiful.
And then we maybe eventually we'll see a one-on-one matchup between Shooter and Mox, or
there's
a
a
full on.
pay-per-view
Very
that's
true.
called Forbidden Door.
That's
that
true
would be
too.
Perfect.
That's true too. But we might see a full-on indoctrination into the BCC. That's what I'm saying. So it's either or. You know,
I would love for him to get beat down in the BCC, and Okada makes the save. Okada says, "No one can beat up young boys in my company except for me," and that sets up Okada and Moxley at Forbidden Door.
Why do you think his hair is beach blonde? It's got to have that blood. It's gotta be pretty. I think Okada Moxley is kind of feels like where we're supposed to be going, and I'd love if we could just do Moxley's Shooter at Wrestle Kingdom long-term booking. But if we can't, then just give it to me at Forbidden Door. Let's call it a day.
Man, there's so many options to go here. I'm really looking forward to this matchup. But it is not the semi-main event or main event. The semi-main event is going
Grandmaster.
to the man who has made his way to the Grandmaster. He's one step away from the Grandmaster as he will go one-on-one with the ace of the junior heavyweight division, Master Wato, the best of Super Juniors 30 winner, going one-on-one with Hiromu Takahashi, the 5-time IWGP junior heavyweight champion. This is I believe V4 for Hiromu, his fourth defense of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. He's already put out there he wants to achieve the all-time status, the 12 defenses of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Can he do it? Will he do it? I don't know. It's actually his fifth defense because it was Eagles, Leo, Yo, and Kanemaru. So this is the fifth defense of his fifth reign here. Does he walk out with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, or will Master Wato become the Grandmaster and win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship? J News, who do you have winning, Wato or Hiromu?
First of all, let's get this straight. All right, you all know that I love Master Wato.
Stop bringing up the 2-7 guy. That's your argument.
Listen. No, I'm not bringing that. I'm not bringing up that argument. I'm not bringing up that argument. I'm not bringing up that argument. No. I'm not bringing up that argument at all. You all know I love Master Wato. But like I said, he is at the bottom of the flight of the stairs. He has yet to have enough experience to reach Pai. He ain't there yet. He ain't there. So all I'm saying is he loses here. Another step backwards, because he needs to go backwards to experience some more pain and get that more experience so that he can level up, get up halfway to the stairs, and then see the Grandmaster and yet fail again before he becomes the Grandmaster. He ain't there yet, man. He's just not there. 5 stars or not, when we see Grandmaster Wato is when he wins this championship at a Wrestle Kingdom. That is when we get to see Grandmaster Wato. Right now, Dominion, no, I don't see it. I see Hiromu taking it all the way, 12 defenses, beating the record, and he is Wato's Grandmaster, and eventually we get there. We will eventually get there. It's just not now. Eventually we will get there.
Wato Mania. Nah, I've got, you know who my favorite is. I'm going to go with Hiromu to retain here. I think that Hiromu, the one thing Hiromu has not achieved in the junior heavyweight division is have that long title reign. All of his reigns have been relatively short, and I think he's going to get very close to this 12 defense. I don't think there is a reason to even tease the 12 defense unless you're going to at least make it close. At least make it halfway there to 6. So this is number 5. I think that he gets the job done, and Hiromu retains. Who do you got, Scott?
So when we talked about this the other day, you had convinced me why Hiromu made sense to win here. And then I saw Hiromu Takahashi go get booked on Dragon Gate's biggest show, Kobe World, against their longtime ace Yamato. And I said to myself, There's no way he's going to be champion anymore then. That means it's time for the Grandmaster, Master Wato. It is time. He won the best of the Super Juniors. Why not finish the story? We're all about finishing the story in 2023, unless your name is Cody Rhodes. Master Wato's finishing the story.
Everyone finishes the story except for Cody.
Crown this man, mostly because of the Yamato thing. But I'm going to give Master Wato the credit because I can.
You may have helped me with my predictions because I'm gonna say Hiromu here, but when it comes time for the True Heel Heat Prediction Championship, that might be in my mind and why I picked Master Wato.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would be shocked if he walked into a Dragon Gate show with the title and had that match. But I mean, why? Well, you never know.
So to answer Val B's question, am I saying that Wato needs more adversity? Absolutely. That is just the way that you get to be the Grandmaster. There's no easy path to the Grandmaster. You need a cornucopia of fucking adversity to become the Grandmaster.
Cornucopia? What is going on here?
You know what I'm saying? But this just isn't enough. It's not enough. He needs to be beaten down until he can't get up anymore. And then eventually he gets up again and he rises out of the ashes like a phoenix. And then he becomes the Grandmaster. Then he becomes the
poor guy.
What are we doing?
I do it for the King of the North. He's always here. He's always showing me love. So this is all.
What happens when Master Wato has 2 5-star matches in a week? Then
He's the Grandmaster. He's the Grandmaster. It don't matter. It don't matter if he wins. He's still a Grandmaster. He's a step away. He is so close.
I just want his title win promo to be like, I am now Grandmaster Wato.
Yes.
Just drop the mic.
Drop the mic like that, like boom. And then he just Let's talk about the main event of Dominion. It is SANADA defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Yota Tsuji. Talk about a re-debut for a young lion, the antithesis of what Master Wato's re-debut was in the pandemic. It was Yota Tsuji. We saw the video packages of something big was coming to New Japan Pro Wrestling. And after SANADA defeated Hiromu at Wrestling Dontaku, the video package played, and out came Yota Tsuji, and he completely destroyed Just 5 Guys and SANADA with a huge spear. He put up the LIJ fist bump symbol and then raised the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And out of nowhere, this former young lion returns to New Japan and is put in the top spot at one of the biggest shows of the year, Dominion. Does Gato strap the rocket to Tsuji, or does SANADA's reign continue, his second defense of the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship? And I said this on Ace Techers. I said this here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, and I'm standing 10 toes deep, tiptoeing on your asses. Tsuji shock, Tsuji shock, Tsuji shock, Yota Tsuji, your new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He is putting the strapping the rocket to Tsuji Mania. Tsuji shock.
Get too many manias going on here. You got to pick one. You can only
The
have
bigger
one.
mania. The bigger mania is Tsuji shock. J News, who you got here?
If anyone has been watching True Heel Heat long enough to understand that I had done my own solo podcast, J News Japan, we all understand that I have a bromance with SANADA. Me and SANADA we're like kindred spirits. I will forever refuse to pick SANADA to lose now that he is the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Love Yota Tsuji. I think Yota Tsuji is going to be a freaking star, but just not at Dominion. He'll put on a good show. I think his entrance is going to be like top notch. I think the match is going to be dope. But SANADA will pull this one out. He will retain the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And he will continue to go on and represent just Five Guys and New Japan Pro Wrestling as its champion. SANADA for the win.
Scott, who you got? Tsuji or SANADA?
Well, I don't want to I like SANADA as champion, so I don't want to disrespect him. But he is not Hiroshi Tanahashi. The shock is not as shocking to me. With a Tsuji shock as opposed to the Rainmaker shock. So I want to say that. I want to respect. I want to just give a little respect to Tanahashi. Just want to give a little respect to Tanahashi. That being said, Big Tsuji. Big Tsuji is coming in. Guns a-blazing. Had he had one more appearance since that beatdown of SANADA, I actually would have more sided with SANADA. But he hasn't. They have hid this guy. Actually, he went right back to CMLL, which is very funny.
Yes.
But that means he has been hidden from New Japan television. And that's enough for me to say that Big Tsuji walks out and new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. That being said, I hope SANADA does win because SANADA's reign has just begun. He deserves a long reign. He deserves to go into Wrestle Kingdom as the IWGP Heavyweight Champion of the world. So I hope I'm wrong, but it feels like this is something that they want to do. They want to debut this guy in a big way. They already are. He's main evented Dominion. He doesn't need to win. But
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I feel, but to your point, Scott, I think that, and I think the thread here is that all these the young boys from the last 4 or 5 years are now top stars. They're top stars in the company. You know what I'm saying? And this is good for the future of New Japan. Now, obviously, if we enter the era of the Tsuji shock, am I going to be down on it for a little bit, right? Because I'm going to cry me a river for SANADA at the end of the day. Yeah. But I understand the overall story they want to tell with these young lions. You know what I'm saying? They're their best crop in over a decade. And they've got to do something with him. So that I could definitely understand. But for me, man, what SANADA's been able to do out in Japan, outside of New Japan doors, the media stuff that he's been doing, the community stuff that he's been doing, he's really he's working it, bro. Like he's really working it to be the new face of New Japan as his champion. And I want to continue to see it, just to see if the matches improve, they become better. If he becomes 5-star SANADA, right, or whatever the case is, in that estimation. And I just want to see more of it in that regard, just because he's been in the trenches for a while. So Tsuji's got time. The Big Tsuji's got time. You know
yeah, he definitely does. I think the one interesting thing is, as said below, G1 coming up as well. I think that's kind of one person winning dramatically changes how I think the G1 plays out either way. And that's the fun of it. Like, do I think Shooter, do I think Tsuji have great shots in this year's G1? Absolutely. But I'm very intrigued because I don't know who's obvious for Tsuji if he's going into Wrestle Kingdom as champion besides SANADA.
Right.
On the other hand, SANADA has Naito, Shingo as your main guys going into there, right? So that's the interesting part of it. I think SANADA should have those Naito and Shingo matches in this reign, which is part of the reason I'm hoping he wins. But the spot, Big Tsuji, I feel like they want to establish the guy right off the bat. Like I said, Dominion is Dominion. It's hard to not, do it. But it just feels like this is what Gato's going for, and I'm prepared, even if I'm not sure I love it.
I think if SANADA wins, I think we're getting Naito winning the G1. He has to be the favorite. But also, if Tsuji wins, I think that would be also interesting if Naito won that. Like, if this is like him beating SANADA is his way for Naito to finally say you're officially a part of LIJ, and then Naito goes on to win the G1 to set up an all LIJ Tokyo Dome main event. That's another interesting way to go about this as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
All
Well,
young
yeah,
guys.
all former Young Lion
Yeah.
Tokyo Dome main event. Yeah.
For sure, man. I think that all those can be great possibilities. I just feel like for the short term, right? If you make Tsuji the champ, if SANADA loses and he doesn't get a rematch right away, wouldn't Okada be next in line technically? And hasn't he be telling these kids, get the fuck off my lawn?
Oh, that's a good point.
Okada winning the G1 too is a possibility. He could win. He could win
So-
3 out of 4. He'll win 3 out of 4, and then he's gonna versus Tsuji. That would be probably like the ultimate ending of the Okada versus Young Boy story. Is he versus the Young Boy who basically replicated what he did in 2012 at the Tokyo Dome. That would be kind of perfect symmetry as well. So yeah, I feel like there's more mystery into who wins the G1 if Tsuji wins. That's like one of the top reasons why I'm going with Tsuji. It's also the reason I said before, I've been saying that Sonata's not getting out of Dominion with this IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
Listen, when it happens, when SANADA retains, you're gonna remember my face every single time. You're gonna remember my face, and it's gonna be Jay News. Jay News said SANADA was gonna win. Why did SANADA win? Because Jay News is pushing it out there. I am manifesting it. I am putting it into the universe. SANADA for the win.
Pushing an agenda.
The SANADA agenda has been pushed for the last 4 years on this very channel. For the last 4 years.
We got Valabi says, you know, now that LIJ is coming together for big matches, it's a sign that Naito winning the G1 and then at Wrestle Kingdom. I mean,
we'll see, man. We'll see.
What if Tsuji's just not an LIJ? What if it's all? What if it's all a lie? What if they're lying?
That would be great. That would be great. Like Naito comes out and is like tries to give him the fist bump, and then he just lays him out and raises the IWGP. That's a perfect.
Killer on his own.
Now Naito has a even other goal for winning the G1 to get to Tsuji, to get revenge for him embarrassing him. I would. There's so many different options.
Yeah, there's so many different options.
Tsuji needs to win. Then what? SANADA, you did great. We established you as a new star. We need to put the rocket on one of these young boys.
You know what's more important though? The match just needs to deliver for Tsuji.
Yeah, it does.
That's the most important part.
Yeah. I agree.
So because I think Tsuji's been getting his reps in. So between Mexico, between what he's been doing in the UK, I think he's gonna be more than ready for a match with SANADA. And it's just more of a styles thing at this point, because SANADA's style is very traditional Japanese, between strong style and the fluidity of their martial arts-esque kind of stuff. It's his hybrid style. And then Tsuji being a high impact, high powered guy he's also an innovator in the ring. People don't give him credit for that. Like if you see his matches in CMLL, he pulls shit out that nobody thinks he's pulling out. So, you got to give him that. So that's the way that I think. I don't know.
We shall see. We shall see how it all transpires, but it's coming up on Sunday. Me, Jay News, will most likely be back on Monday to review the show. And Scott, once again, I got to give you the open invite here on air. If you want to join us on Monday to talk about Dominion, you are more than welcome. We love having you on the channel. Please let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, what you got going on, Fightful, 5-Star Joshi Network, and everything else.
Yeah, follow me at Scott E Wrestling on Twitter. It says right there. Of course, that's the best place to find me. Thank you for having me on here as always. In terms of content, I'm going on vacation next week, so I have no idea if I'll be doing much of anything. But always check out my stuff at Fightful. That's the best place to go. And if you're interested in the world of Joshi, you can check out my 5-Star Joshi show on the Fight Game Media Network. That's always a good place to look for me. But I'm looking forward to this show. Thanks for having me, and I can't wait. This is the most excited I've been for a New Japan show, top to bottom, in a long time.
Yes, there is a lot to be excited about with New Japan Pro Wrestling, especially with this show, Dominion. J News, Monday we'll be back with them. You're open to join that for Monday?
Afternoon if we can, but because I have a morning meeting. But anyways.
Hey, that's totally fine. Or maybe you start around the time we started this. That's totally fine with this. But J News, please let the people know where they can follow you on social media and anything else you got going on, sir.
always catch me on the Instagram _JONJOY. I'm on there, and I like to interact with the folks. So please keep it clean, keep it censored. Shout out to Sony Animation Pictures. They made the best comic book movie of all time, and it came out yesterday.
Oh, so
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Folks, go out, watch that movie. Watch it. My God, it's a piece of art. It really is. So,
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I sign off on that. I saw the first showing
Oh, nice.
at my theater.
Very
So incredible stuff.
Follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at TrueHillHeat. And of course, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. Also, check out our NJPW Best of Super Juniors 30 final review. We also got coming up probably next week our Best of Super Juniors 30 best matches list, breaking down the top 10 matches voted on by the folks you saw here and a couple of other folks talking about Best of Super Juniors 30. We got the best matches list coming out next week. And of course, join me live tomorrow, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, True Hill Heat 228. It will be me, myself, True Draw Josh, and special guest Mike from Indeed over on Fightful Overbooked, plus another special guest that you just got to come and check us out tomorrow morning to find out who. But me and Jay News, and hopefully maybe Scott, but definitely Sanal will be with us on Monday to break down Dominion 2023. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to Scott. Thank you to Jay News. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our NJPW Dominion 2023 preview. We are signing off until next time.